public.
Or it happened to me by Kaiser along with hundreds of others, and it's still happening by Kaiser along with other self-insured employers that funds this commission. This commission, to me, it helps perpetuate fraud and corruption. I'm not going to say this is a personal issue, because this affects many people. I'd like to know, Mr. Zachry, how you get funded to do your job here. Does Safeway pay for it? Does the state of California pay for it? Who pays you to be on this commission? Who pays these commissioners here today?
The commentary is supposed to be relevant to the presentation.
Well, the reason I'm asking, okay, because there's money being spent to go after injured workers, and I'm going to read something. This is from PMSI and drug spend. This is from Bill Zachry.
Could you please just show the relevance to the
The relevant is
presentation?
because when you have a negative connotation of an injured worker, and insurance companies litigate claims, okay, most of them are 30%, that's about 300,000 people a year that don't get their claims done. That's a lot of money that self-insured companies that fund this commission, they save. Okay, they give everybody else money, but they're not giving it to the injured worker. But I'm going to read two little things and I'll be off. When the employee is an unskilled worker with a relatively high-paying job, see a union job with great benefits, when the employee has spent decades with the employer and all of his friends work there, or when the employee particularly enjoyed the job, the loss can be even more devastating. Now this came under the guise that the insurance claim adjuster should counsel them under the 5 stages of grief, denial, anger, negotiation, depression, acceptance. The other thing is, another interesting phenomenon in workers' compensation is that the injured worker can take on a new identity, that of an injured worker. As an injured worker now becomes his job to maximize the benefits and work the system rather than return to work. You know, this is to me, perhaps, when I first read this was done 9/8 of this year, 9/8/09. Oh no, I'm sorry, it was done last month. This was printed out last night for me. When I first read it, it's repugnant, Mr. Zachry. It's despicable. Because you know what? This is by you. You wrote this. This is done by you. That's why I'm asking, what kind of money do you get to put you here in this position? That you can sit there and say these horrible things about people that get sick. We got people getting sick down there in Downey. We got people sick in the biotech industry. You know, it started with repetitive stress injuries back in the early 1990s.
Your time is up, and I just want to say I don't really see the relevance to your statements as they pertain to the presentation by the Fraud Division on its budget request. But your time is up nonetheless. You were given
Okay.
3 minutes.
I just want to enter in. I'd like to put this stuff into the minutes because none of this stuff that I have to say gets said or done.
Okay, your time is done.
Okay. For today it is.
Now do the deliberation.
Why you're here today.
Well,
Introduce yourself.
oh, my name is Dina Padilla. I'm from the Voices Best California chapter, president of both, and I came here today to oppose the budget funding for the Commission for Investigative Fraud, and it looks like they went and passed it anyway. So go ahead and ask me questions.
And why are you decided to run for insurance commissioner? And what happened here today?
Well, besides some censorship and some argument about, you know, what I had to say regarding self-insured employers that don't get investigated, because the self-insured employers fund this commission. And the reason I'm running is because we don't have equitability, we don't have fairness, we don't have anything. The injured worker is the one that gets investigated and prosecuted, persecuted. They get stalked, they get followed, they have their property damaged, there's illegal breaking and entering into their homes. Injured workers can't get medical care, they can't get their benefits, and then they're all foisted onto the public system like state and federal programs like Medicare and Social Security.
So what does William Zachry, who is Vice President of Risk Management for Safeway, have to do with this?
Well, it just so happens that Bill Zachry works for Safeway, which is an insurance company in its own right, and he is the Vice President of the Risk Management for Safeway. So it's a huge conflict that he sits here as chairman of the board for the Fraud Assessment Commission.
And why has he been supported by both Democrats and Republicans, now Schwarzenegger, but also Democrats have supported his being chair of the board?
Why has he been supported? Well, he's been appointed for the last 9 years. I would say that both the Democrats and the Republicans, they're both of the bird of the same feathers but different wings. I don't see that they care a damn about injured workers. They care more about maybe their investments.
What's your view about the insurance industry and healthcare in California?
My view about the insurance companies is that all they do is they're out there for profit. They're not interested in taking care of medical claims. They're not interested in giving people their medical care, paying out any insurance claims. They're just here to make money. And the sicker you are, the more money they make.
So you're saying that they're violating the law by not taking care of workers who are injured on the job and have been shown to be injured on the job?
Oh, absolutely. I've talked to so many injured workers since 1992 that the 30%, it's about 300,000 a year. The serious injuries that end up on Medicare and Social Security, they don't get their claims taken care of at all. Their cases are litigated year after year after year. Some are decades long. And the insurance company's definitely not interested in helping people get them better. That's been my experience.
And is this the reason you're running for insurance commissioner?
Absolutely. We need equitability, we need fairness, and if there's going to be fraud and corruption to be got after, it needs to be done across the board, whether it's the employer or the employee, especially self-insured employers, because they're the ones that pay for this commission. And hold on a minute. And nobody goes after them. Nobody goes after the insurance companies. And that to me it's despicable. It's evil.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.